Hi Angelica, thank you for sending in your essay for correction, and what a good idea to get some feedback because you have got your exam next week. Good luck, but there's lots of good stuff here, so I hope you won't be worrying too much. Okay, the most important thing is that you've understood the question. So task achievement, which is 25% of the marks. Have you answered the question? Have you kept your essay the right length? You have, that all looks good, you understand, you're giving me the arguments and you're giving me your opinion, so that's great. Okay, so let's go in to look at this in a bit more detail. So currently, countries with better economic situations used to help. Now, I would say traditionally, because you can't have currently, which is now, and used to, which is in the past. That doesn't work. So you could have traditionally countries with better economic situations, or in a better economic situation, helped. Hang on. So traditionally, countries with better economic situations used to help countries with less money. Yeah, but even though those countries remained in poverty. You need a comma after that. Those countries remained in poverty. Consequently, developed countries should bring other forms of economic aid to poorer countries. Just rework that sentence for me. In this essay, I will discuss some possible other areas to invest in, or some possible solutions, or some possible ideas for this. So just give me one more line here, telling me where the essay is going to go. One more line there. So firstly, I would save your opinion until you get to the end. So firstly, it is believed that, or just keep it a bit more impersonal, rich countries have a social responsibility to help countries who have less favourable economic conditions than theirs. Good, nice sentence, because if they can help to improve the quality of life in these places, or I would say those places actually, insecurity in the entire world would be reduced. Just make that into a passive, just to show your language skill. As a matter of fact, okay, I would say an example of this, or for example, Medellin in Colombia, where after having been, now because you're going back in time and it's a fantastic complex sentence, here we go, after having been the most dangerous and insecure in the city in the country, is now much safer, or can now boast an improvement by 40% in its security in comparison to Bogota. And I'd stop there because it's quite a long sentence. Okay. Then I would say this was only achieved thanks to the government of Spain and the education and healthcare grants, maybe given by them to the population or to the citizens. So you're absolutely on the right track. I just want to try and make it a little bit clearer, just on your grammar, just going into that sentence. So after having been, start there. Okay, so secondly, one of the most important, you need something there, ways to improve a poor country is not just the economic problem, but access to, you don't need the access to the healthcare and education, which in the majority of underdeveloped countries, is inaccessible or frequently inaccessible. Okay? So I love how you're getting into these really, really long, complicated sentences, but if you're going to do that, just be careful you use them absolutely accurately, or the examiner might misunderstand what you're trying to say. So an example of this is Venezuela. Okay, where, or which, because we're talking about a country which has money because of their oil production, but nowadays, or you could say which despite having money because of their oil production, then you could take out but, nowadays its citizens have limited access to basic supplies like food, water or energy, and stop there as a full stop. So be careful, don't get trapped into a very long sentence, which is going to get more and more complicated. Start here, as a result, or therefore, which is a nice way to support the example you've given. people remain in poverty, or citizens or the population remains in extreme poverty, and this country now has the highest cost of living in the world. Just need to finish that example off. I really like your examples. They're very current, they're very relevant, and you clearly understand what you're talking about, which is excellent. So as a conclusion, I agree with the statement that any help, or we could use aid maybe, given by a developed country, could be beneficial. Maybe don't need to repeat poor country, could be beneficial, and has the possibility of improving, or could be beneficial towards improving the quality of life of that population. Furthermore, I believe that, or furthermore, the access to education, healthcare and food is more important than money. Okay, so you've got some really good things here, and I've just tried to clarify some of your sentences, and I love, as I say, how you're doing the complex sentences, and just make sure that when you read it through, maybe read it through out loud, and just check that all makes sense. So great grammar, you're really challenging yourself, and this is the way to get a really good mark. Vocabulary looks excellent, so nice lexis. Try and vary your vocabulary. If you see that you're repeating all the way time, with developed countries, you could say maybe Western nations, something like that, richer, more successful, something like that. Just try not to repeat. Instead of poorer, we could have underdeveloped or lesser developed, something like that. But otherwise, really well done. If you can, send us another essay before your exam, and maybe rewrite this one with the corrections. That should help. Good luck.